You have no idea the amount of ignorant mess we're about to get into right now.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
And Terrence.
What's up?
Okay, guys, we're back. This is episode 131, Crown Heights. This is the 2017 crime drama about the wrongful conviction of Colin Warner. This is based on a This American Life podcast episode, much like the Come Sunday movie that we just did a couple weeks ago. If you want to watch the movie, and I would encourage you to do so, it's on Amazon Prime. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free there. Okay, Terrence, what were your thoughts on this? Because this was your suggestion.
Yeah, I picked this, and I said a couple movies ago that these kind of movies, I just kind of get tired of them. But this one in particular, I wanted to do because I had seen a documentary about Kalief Browder. Yeah. Couple months ago, and it was the exact
which I want to do, but that's a long movie. It's like 7 hours, right?
It's a series. It's like 6 episodes. And
yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, I have not watched it.
I don't know. That shit is really, really tough.
Yeah, it's a brutal story.
But this guy gets convicted of something he didn't do. This happens all the time. As far as the movie. Lakeith Stanfield is the star of the movie. He's been killing it. The movie itself doesn't necessarily do anything new, but it's just a solid movie. Like, if you want to know how the criminal justice system works for people that are not rich, I would check this out. I mean, this happened back in 1980, and that was 40 years ago, and nothing has changed.
Not
really,
a lot.
Nothing has changed.
Not a lot.
This is pretty. You could just take this story and just put it today, and 40 years ago, the same shit still happens. The movie itself it's good. I'd probably give it a 3.5 because all of the performances were fine, and again, it doesn't do much different, but it just kind of shows you how fucked up things are in the criminal justice system. So, but it's good. I liked it.
Okay. So one thing I want to ask you. What are your thoughts comparatively between this and Come Sunday? Because these are both taking true stories done. Come Sunday is done by This American Life studios.
Yeah,
but do you find like these kind of stories that are, for lack of a better phrase, like kind of a one-note story, right? Like it's a very consolidated story, and you can tell it, and it has a beginning, a middle, and a definitive end. Yeah. Like, do you think that kind of works? Like these kind of stories?
As far as movies, like
as far as keeping, because there's such insular little stories, is it are they good grounds for filmmaking?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I feel like they had to condense this story because he was in prison for 20 years,
right?
So they had to condense things. So it does at times kind of feel like they skipped over a lot because you have to. It's only like an hour and 39 minutes long. I think Come Sunday is a little better.
Yeah.
It's a better movie, but these are fine. It's almost like documentaries told in movie form.
They're docudramas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. So. Yeah, I just think I'm very interested to see what happens with a lot of these, because they are,
they're
honestly,
good stories.
Right, like This American Life literally just basically puts out an audio version of a movie every week. Yeah. It's kind of interesting to see them touching these as being films. This is yet another independent, and our next full episode is another independent Black movie, that are these sort of small stories, but I don't know. I find it really fascinating. So.
And the fact that I like documentaries, these movies are kind of right up my alley also. So
yeah, I can see that for you. Yeah, absolutely. So what were your thoughts, Michael?
I agree with Terrence on every one of his points. This is a solid movie with incredibly strong performances. Again, Lakeith Stanfield is somebody give that guy an award. Like a substantial award. I'm sure every award is, but
like a Saturn.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about that one.
Right. You know what I mean? But that guy's killing it, man. That guy's killing it in everything he does. The actor who played his friend Karl is
I've seen him in something
Nnamdi Asomugha. He was a former football player.
Yeah, he used to play for the Raiders.
Yeah. And now he
Wait, is that where I've seen him?
it
might have been. I've seen him.
No,
he played
there's
for the Eagles also. And he is now a producer. Like he produces these type of things now.
yeah. What a weird trajectory this guy's had.
What a very smart career trajectory.
Well, this helps him not have CTE. So yeah, this is a smart move.
The way the movie is shot, it looks like it's in the same universe as Come Sunday.
Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of does. The This American Life universe. I mean, they're all American stories. Technically, they are all in the same universe.
Right. So
This is a prequel.
The TALU. That's where I know this dude from, because I used to watch football when this nigga was playing.
yeah.
What the fuck? Wow.
People have a hell of a trajectory across their lives.
Asomugha, that's what his name is.
This is a good movie.
Wow.
It's solid, and it's definitely I recommend you watch it. You'll cry at the end. If you don't, you're not a human.
No.
Well,
Mike
we
is
all know
correct.
that
Mike is correct then.
yeah, man. I some of the dialogue is taken from. I started listening to the episode of This American Life that this is based on. It came out in 2005. It's called DIY. If you want to listen to it, and some of the testimony from the This American Life episode is directly word for word for what's in the movie. So
That's such a great way to do that, right?
There was one part
so you
in
can
the
just
movie
pick up and be like, boom,
where
boom.
I feel like it was probably him talking.
There's a couple like voiceover things that are definitely him.
I think it is.
It's
Yeah, like on the phone calls and stuff. I think.
I think I can't verify this yet, but I think the person in the This American Life interview was the same guy. He sounds just like him. And I wouldn't be surprised, man.
No, I mean, I think it was it Colin?
Yeah, because there's a couple moments.
Voiceover, and there's a voiceover part in this movie where I'm like, that's not Lakeith. He's like, I don't know if he's reading a letter or something like that.
Yeah, it's when he's reading a letter. Yep.
The guy I'm talking about is explaining that the police were badgering him into.
Oh, okay.
Like that guy, I think is.
Oh yeah. Leon Grant, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think that's the same guy. But I don't know. But yeah, anyway. It's a great movie, man. It's definitely recommend you watch it. It's just a solid ass movie.
Yep. So for me, again, I mean, we're gonna be really boring. I agree with the two of you, as much as that pains me. So many ways, but it's really good. It's a very, very good movie. It is a very emotionally charged film, I would argue. To Micah's point about Lakeith Stanfield, it's weird to see someone's career moving in such an upward, swing without him being in anything that would, traditionally be marked as like, this is the career maker for him, right? He's never been in like a big action movie or a big drama that's getting like all his Oscar buzz. He's just in so many just small, great projects that you're watching his trajectory. Like you can see that moment where he's going to get cast in like a Marvel film. People are like, oh, this is looking, like the massives are going to be like, I like this guy now. Right. But we're seeing him as he's building his career, which is really kind of dope. Like, but in the open, he's really good in everything. And it's kind of cool because, I think he's in his mid-30s.
No. He's like
26.
He's 26 years old.
That's crazy, dude.
Look, I don't normally care about celebrities, but this guy I would love to just sit down and interview.
Yeah.
I would love to sit
He's a
down
fascinating
and talk to
dude.
this guy, man, because he's doing everything right. And
the only thing I would argue that he's not doing right is that he is literally dressed like the traditional look for, Yellow Jacket from the Marvel Comics in this image.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the sleeves and everything. But he's like a big anime person too. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, ooh, that looks cool. It does not look cool. It does not. But besides this one image. No, I think he's actually doing super great work.
Yeah.
And he's picking projects that are all over the place, like comedy and drama and like
I want to see that other movie he's got.
Yeah, it comes out in July.
What is it called?
Sorry to bother you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks really
fucking
good.
nuts.
Yeah, it's a very eclectic, weird thing.
Yeah.
But then again, he is with somebody whose star has absolutely risen, Tessa Thompson, where it's a quirky, bizarro kind of movie. But it's nice to see black people doing movies like that, right? Because those kind of movies were largely relegated to being starring like Zooey Deschanel for the last 15 years. It's nice to see black actors, young black actors especially, doing movies like that are a little out of the box, which hopefully will reach a different type of audience. But yeah, I love the movie. I thought the moments between Colin and Karl are some of the most powerful ones in the film. Yeah, it's very emotionally charged. Like, I don't know how you watch this movie and just be like, it's like no big deal. Like, especially as a black man, like, I don't know how you watch this movie and not feel something very specific about the goings on in this story and specifically their performances. They're powerful. I loved it. I thought it was really great. There were a number of times when my wife was like, I need you to pause this for a second. Like, it's just like emotionally, it's just a lot. And, it's just like, this is really super heavy.
And I feel like had I not seen the Khalif Browder one, which was 10 times worse, you think this shit is emotionally, that was real. This one was real too, but this is a movie, but.
Right. That's a
that
documentary.
kid was 14, yeah.
Yeah.
He was 18, so they tried him as an adult.
Right.
Look, I'm telling you, if you want to do that movie, I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch that shit again. Like, for real.
You might have to hit the cliff notes.
I'm going to have to go from the Wikipedia, because like, nah, yo.
Yeah, and it's just brutal. But it's a film that is important to watch. And to your point, Terrence, like the understanding of the criminal justice system, especially towards black men and black people in general, is brutal. Like, it's absolutely brutal. And what makes Colin Warner's story that much scarier is that he goes into jail in 1980 and he lives through the worst time where there is this absolute, and they make this a point in the movie.
That was the other thing I enjoyed about. We'll get into it.
Is like this look at like we need to be extremely hard on the criminal element in this country, which was specifically pointed at black people. Yep. And that's when our prison population rose to dramatic highs over the course of this basically 20 years that he's in prison, which absolutely affects him. One could argue, oh, well, he's already in prison, it doesn't affect him, but it absolutely does. So the movie is about a miscarriage of justice. And we find out every other day that this has happened to other black men. It was a guy who just got let out recently in like the last week and a half. And he did like 20 or 30 years.
I didn't even hear that one.
Yeah, that's how common it is that you can just miss them now, right? Which they should be the biggest stories in the news.
Man, was in prison for 20 years for something he didn't do.
They're like, I don't know, it's a Tuesday. Anyway, moving on. Oh, look, another black guy got shot. Whatever. Here's $4 for your family. That was a story too.
Yeah, that happened.
So, yeah, Crown Heights is a very good movie. So now we're going to review it if you're unaware of that's how this show works. I can't say that enough.
Yeah, it's on Amazon Video.
Yeah, you should watch it.
If you want to watch it.
Yeah.
Jackass.
Oh,
whoever decides you want to post about showing us the video, shut up.
It makes me so mad every time I see this comment. I'm just going to start deleting them. Or just having people make fun of you. Okay, so let's get into it. So the film opens up with Colin Warner, played by Lakeith Stanfield, waking up to the radio playing in the background, where they're just sort of, it's kind of like movie exposition, where they're talking about the increase in the murder rate, specifically in New York. And this is 1980, which is the year I was born. It's a great year. And so then we see him talking with his mother, who basically tells him like, hey, go pick up this television from the repair shop that I had to drop off. And then we get a scene in the next room of his friend Karl having sex with Colin's sister. And they're in love or whatever. And he's basically saying, look, I gotta go to work, or go to school. And him and Colin are in the same sort of mechanics class is kind of what I understood it
like
to
a
be.
vocational school.
Okay. So, and they're best friends, and we get a scene that I didn't really quite appreciate the point of it. I appreciated the scene, but I didn't appreciate quite the point of it the first time I watched it. But they're talking, these mechanics are talking, and this one guy's like, Colin's basically saying, like, look, you know, yes, we're all from the West Indies, because they're all Trini or Jamaican. Specifically, he's Trini, but, you know, some of these guys are probably from Jamaica or something like that. And they're all like, we're from the West Indies. Like, we're not, like, our lives didn't start out like regular Black Americans that came over in slave ships. And he's like, no, we ended up in the West Indies. Like, we were on slave ships too. That's just where we got dropped off versus, you know, folks here. And so he's basically preaching this whole back to Africa concept, and based on Marcus Garvey's work. And I was like, oh, okay, so he's just kind of schooling these guys. But what I realize is what they're trying to show is this idea of the commonality of Black folks, you know, in this case, you know, from the West Indies or what have you, with, you know, American-born Black folks. And that's really the overarching point of this story, is Karl and Colin's relationship is about their commonality of that it could have been either one of them, which is why Karl fights so hard for him. Right. But I didn't quite appreciate that scene until rewatching. I was like, okay, I get the point now. So then, and also if you want to do more research into that, Colin mentions that they came over, his ancestors came over to the West Indies on a ship called the Black Star Line, which I believe is a real thing. So you can check
Quick
that
aside, Nnamdi Asomugha is married to Kerry Washington.
That's where I know him from. Yeah. That's where I know him from. Yeah. Lucky son of a bitch. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, I didn't even say, because I was like, I don't watch football enough to know him from that. And then it said that he produced Beast of No Nation. I'm like, I definitely wouldn't have known that particular thing. Right. I was like, I recognize this dude's face, but that's where I saw him smiling all the goddamn time next to a woman in a large white coat eating popcorn constantly. She doesn't eat food, guys. It's weird. So then Colin asks one of the mechanics, does his guy still give money for stolen cars, basically? And so the guy's like, yeah, just bring him around back. So Colin goes, he steals a car and almost gets caught twice.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, you're playing a dangerous game.
He crashes it, which I'd be a little pissed off at that nigga. He crashed my car.
Yeah, like, all right, you're going to steal it? Fine. Can you just put it somewhere when you're done? It was like he stole it almost to just drive the TV home because he didn't feel like carrying it from the repair shop at one point. But yeah, the guy almost catches him a second time. And in that, Colin crashes the car. And then he just grabs his TV out of the back and just walks away. He's like, all right, I'm out. In that moment, on his way home, he runs into Antoinette, which is this girl he really likes. She obviously plays a much larger role in his life later on, but he runs into her and helps her like bring in some groceries or whatever. And they have this like awkward, I like you, you like me, but I don't know how to really say it kind of interaction. He asks her out and she's like, I'll think about it. Probably should have gone out on a date that night because that would be the last time she will see him as a free man, unfortunately, for a very long time. And what did you guys think? Did you have any indication of the story before seeing this? Because I didn't know like all the like super hard details about like her and what have you. Did you get an impression that they were like that was going to mean anything?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I didn't at all. Which I thought was a good way to film it, by the way. Like that she pops up later and you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. But yeah, I didn't have any indication of that.
She looks like Pam Grier a little bit. But continue.
No, she kind of does.
I'm looking at some pictures of her on IMDb. She's got like an afro in some of these.
I was not upset about seeing her at all in this movie. No, she is a very, very beautiful woman. I was very happy for Colin later on in the film. I was like, all right.
Yeah, that's why I was like, damn, she's really pretty. Like that fucking tight shot of her face.
Yeah, no, she's a good looking girl. And then there was another tight shot. I was like, oh, those are also wonderful. Thank you, filmmakers. Thank you. Shout out to you, This American Life.
Into another film that I have some commentary on.
What other film was that?
The one we're about to the other.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
What the? But anyway,
Yeah.
I feel like you might already know what the fuck I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
no. Trust me. When I was watching the movie, I was like, "Oh, Terrence gonna have something to say about that." Look, I think we're all on the same. We're all on the same.
I don't know if you know what I have to say about that, but go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Continue.
All right. I bet I do. So anyway, that's funny. So then, as he's walking home after helping Antoinette, he gets hemmed up by these two cops. They arrest him. His poor mama's TV is thrown in the alleyway.
Yeah.
Just fucked up.
They're like, "Hey, Colin." I'm like, "Wait, first of all, how do you know who I am?"
Yeah,
was my first question. Like, what?
That
the
is
fuck?
not a thing.
I don't like
you
that
want,
at all.
Yeah, that's not a thing you want a cop to be like, "Hey, Micah." You're like, wait,
Like,
I don't need you to know my name at all. How about sir, guy, my G? Like anything like that would be better. So they arrest him, and I get the impression that he assumes that he's being arrested because of stealing the car.
yeah, that's
right?
what I thought.
So I thought too. And when they get him to the station, they're like, "All right, yeah, man, like you did this shit in the daylight. That's crazy. Like, tell us all about it. Tell us how you shot this Marvin Grant guy." And he's like, "Whoa.
Wait, what?
I'll tell you how I stole a car, and I will do the time for that. That's fine." But yeah, they're like, "Why'd you shoot Martin? Did he owe you money or something?"
I'm like, shoot, what now?
Who? Nah.
Marvin Gaye? What? What are you talking about?
Like, come again. I like his music. That's cool. But yeah, so they start basically trying to get him to sign an affidavit saying that he's guilty, and like they say they have an eyewitness and all this other stuff. Look, spoiler alert for people who don't know this, like the percentage of people who are eyewitnesses who get things wrong is incredibly high, by the way.
Absolutely.
Like people think they see things. I mean, you
like,
find out a little bit more detail about that later, but
people can be looking at the exact same thing and tell you a completely different story.
Right.
Yeah.
So you really can't trust eyewitnesses at all.
people are like, "Oh, I just saw that guy." I'm like, I wasn't there.
And then sometimes people are coerced into telling people what they want to hear.
Yeah.
Which happens all the time.
Yeah. And also not only that, but not just coerced, but it is literally a thing where people will lie to save their own ass.
Yep.
Which is, spoiler, is what happens here. So he's then arraigned and taken off to jail. Which is wild, by the way, because there's like some people in like Department of Correction uniforms, and then he's just in the clothes that they picked his ass up in. Which is terrifying also. This is, by the way, this is a real, outside of going blind as an old person, like this is a real fear of mine.
Yeah, I don't never want to go to jail, yo.
No, because you ain't a real nigga, according to our YouTube comments.
I'm not a real nigger, and I do not want to go to jail.
Did you have to put the ER on
Yes,
it?
I did. Because
I feel you 100%.
Yeah, y'all don't know enough about jail.
You're right.
You're right.
You're absolutely
You're right,
correct.
nigga. Oz.
That's as close as I.
And I didn't even watch all of that.
Yo, that show is terrifying. That show is terrifying. You want to watch Oz again? Can I take a break? Like, shit feels a little too real. Like, that was the realest hour of TV for a long time.
I couldn't. Yeah, I mean, I watched most of it, but good lord, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, nah. Like, I like to watch those worst prisons. Like, I'll watch those documentaries, and then I'll get like halfway through. I'm like, it's like having a nightmare. I'm like, click.
Please don't be a cell. It was like, God damn it. I woke up and I'm still in a fucking cell.
Yeah, that line is kind of,
Yeah.
it's fucking sad, man.
Yeah, it's sad.
That's what I would say to myself every morning before I open my eyes. Like, come on. Did I hit the lottery?
Big
Nah.
money. Oh, bars. Shit.
Still here. All right. Yeah, but I think this is a legitimate fear of most people. I mean, none of us do any sort of activities that would even remotely land us in prison.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
I know, no, but I'm saying, but I'm saying, like, we don't, but that fear is still there, right? Because you could get picked up for this shit. I mean, yeah, he was still in the car or whatever, but like, he's still in the car to just like get money. That's a very different thing than putting a bullet in somebody's head.
Yeah.
Just to do it, basically.
There's a big difference. Like, crimes do have levels. Like,
not in the eyes of some people, which is wild to me, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, well, I mean, okay, just as as an aside, because this is what we do. Like the idea of what's the kid who was killed by the police for quote unquote strong arm robbery of that convenience store, right?
I can't even remember his name.
Mike Brown.
Mike Brown,
Yeah.
Thank you. It's sad that I don't actually remember his name, but because there's been so many,
Yeah.
right? It's like Jesus Christ, how many terrible miscarriages of justice can I remember in in one lifetime? But
In a span of like 4 years.
right. But the Mike Brown situation, we saw white people specifically saying like, well, I mean, this guy, robbed a convenience store. Is that a death sentence? Like,
No.
come on, man. Like again, there are levels to this shit. Like, okay, if that's what happened, by the way, if you look at the footage, it's kind of not what happened, but details, nuance, whatever, facts. But I know they become inconvenient sometimes for people. But even if he did,
Yeah.
go to jail. Like, I'm okay for him to get arrested. I'm not saying like, hey, he did it, he could just go free just because like I don't believe in the whole Nas idea like, open all the cells and let everybody go back to Africa. Like, no, nigga, some people are criminals. Like, nah, fuck that, Nas. I get it. It was a great line in the song. Nah, you murder somebody, you got to stay in jail.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you got to put a bullet in somebody and end their life either. Like, that's no. Or that he should go to jail for 20 years. And he should go to jail longer than the guy who actually murdered this guy.
Yeah.
That's wild to me. That guy was 17, he's 18, so he does 20 years. That other guy gets out in, 9 or whatever.
Khalif Browder got arrested because they said he stole a book bag.
And how long was he in prison?
4 years, 4 or 5 years.
And they put him in solitary
He
confinement,
was in solitary for like 1,000 days, something like that.
which will make you lose your mind.
Yeah, a book bag that he didn't even steal. He wasn't even like. Yeah, he had some issues, but he got thrown in jail for stealing a book bag. He went to Rikers because they thought he stole a book bag. Rikers is one of the worst prisons in the fucking country.
If not the world.
Yeah,
If not the world.
it's really bad.
And he was 14.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, in this movie, Colin Warner, Lakeith Stanfield is an older looking guy because he is older. Colin Warner was 18.
Yeah, when he first went in.
18. You putting him in jail with some hard pipe hitting niggas that been in there for 25 years on some real dirt shit
People doing life.
and don't give a fuck. Yeah, I killed him. I'm doing life. Like, oh, great. Can I be in that guy's cell? That sounds wonderful. Like the way that we deal with criminality in this country is crazy. The way that we deal with criminality for people of color is a different story altogether.
Because we're always seen as criminals, even when we're not.
Right. So it's, I don't know, man. It's a wild situation to me. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do as a country. We seem to be skewing to this idea of at least like drug crimes being actually treated as addictions more so than actual criminal acts.
Oh, because white
people are on drugs.
Exactly. Hey guys, did you know that white teenagers are doing the weed? Yeah, they have been for forever. Forever. But it is now, we've got to work on, the
opioid crisis.
Nah, nigga, that's heroin. Like, call it what it is. It is a derivative of heroin. But now we have to do something about it. We never had to do anything about it except for make tougher and more brutal laws when it was Black and Latino folks.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's weird how that works out.
Yeah.
But, racism isn't a big deal. It's not a big deal at all. Or as I was told on a YouTube comment, hey, we should feel lucky to be here. Lucky to be here. Do yourself a favor. Find a flight of stairs and throw yourself down. Like, it's see, I didn't even advocate for pushing. Do it yourself. This is a DIY. Do it yourself. We should be lucky to be here. By the way, we didn't ask to be here. We didn't. We didn't get a fucking passport and go, hey, is it cool if we come? No. A one-way fucking Carnival cruise ticket, and it wasn't a nice boat. It's very crowded. So while Colin is in jail, and he's just under like arraignment at this point, right? Karl gets a call at the mechanics school that he's at saying, hey man, something happened with Colin. He got arrested. This is an emergency. You go down there and try to bail him out. Karl goes down there and he proceeds to try to bail him out. And they basically tell him like, hey, he can't be bailed out. But they don't tell him why he's been arrested, right? So he's probably just thinking, oh, it's just for some like car shit. Like, all right, we'll get him out. Maybe he does a couple months, whatever. Like, and there's no big deal. But then he comes to the realization that this is actually because he's being charged with a murder that he didn't commit. So I have to ask the major question here, because Karl fights for 21 years to get his buddy out of prison. You think you could do what Karl did for your best friend?
21 years?
You think you put your marriage on the line?
How long have I known him before? Well, they did get married to his sister, right? That was his sister.
Mm-hmm. Or how about this? How about this?
Like money up and everything.
I mean, okay. How about this? Here's a better question. Could you do that for if you're dating a woman and you're friends with her brother, and you guys are good friends, like you're good friends, best friends, or whatever, and you're going to marry that woman, and that is your brother-in-law, as your brother for all intents and purposes. Could you do that to try to save him? I pose the same question to you.
I would like to.
And like, here comes the fuckery that is from Micah. By the way, I'm glad you're in a better mood than you were on Thursday.
Like, no, fuck that nigga. Okay, there you go.
All right, let's give a more nuanced response.
No, I would like to think that I would be able to, but like that's a lot he went through. Like he literally damn near put his marriage.
He almost destroyed it.
He almost destroyed his marriage because he was taking money out that they didn't necessarily have.
No, they did not.
They didn't have it.
That woman, Brianna, was not pleased about that at all.
Me now knowing, like if...
Yeah, because keep in mind, he's 18 too.
Yeah, that's
the wild thing, right? Like, that's not something I thought about.
Same age. 18-year-old me? No. I'm not even going to lie. I will not lie.
No, 18-year-old me? Absolutely.
Hell no. Me now, I would like to think that I would. Yeah. But that's a tough burden to bear, to try to help. But he didn't. And then knowing how the prison system works, I really think I would try. But 20 years is a long. I'm only 37. That's over half my life. Like for real.
Right at 37, it's still I don't know if I could do it. By the way, that's not a judgment. I agree with you 100%. At 37, you can say that. Imagine at 18. Like, that's crazy. Like, there's a scene in this movie at the end, and then I want to hear your thoughts, Micah. There's a scene at the end of this movie. Spoiler alert, Colin gets out and is found innocent. It's not much of a spoiler. I mean, that would be a horrible end of the story. He's never got out. He's still there. Like, fuck. This American Life? What kind of story is that? Jesus Christ. But... there's a scene when he gets out of prison and he sees his lawyer who gets him out. That's the first person he sees. He shakes his hand. He sees his wife. Spoiler for who that is later on. And they hug. And then the next person he sees after his mom is Karl. And they don't even say anything to each other. There are no level of words that you can express to somebody who's willing to fight for you that hard. No, there's none. There's none. I don't like that. To me was the emotional scene because I'm like, yo, I would be crying like the biggest bitch on earth.
I was.
That shit is wild. What are your thoughts?
You definitely, I don't know.
Y'all known each other for like 20 years.
Right. Whereas you, I think you might be capable of doing it.
Killing someone?
Was the victim white?
Well, I mean...
I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of podcast evidence that would fuck your whole parole shit all the way up.
Look, I'll accept that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like. I would never like.
Funny.
Look,
it's more like Colin Warner, and I'm the Colin Warner. Terrence is the hurricane. Like,
I may have done it.
look. By the way, I stand by my stance from watching that movie. That nigga did it, yo. I don't believe he's innocent. I don't. I'm sorry. That movie was horseshit.
Yeah, that's funny. Look, I want to actually before we continue. I wasn't on the preview episode that we did.
Yeah.
And like you said, you don't like when I say I hate white people. I don't like. Maybe hate.
Yeah,
is a strong word.
It is a strong word.
You hate individuals.
It's a very strong word. I dislike them.
Yeah,
because look,
I
there's a
agree
lot
with
of stories that I haven't told on us that have gotten me to that conclusion as to why I just like I don't have a lot of white friends. If like
you certainly don't have any close white
the
friends.
two that are on this podcast network are the two that I really fuck with. And
Same here.
Yeah, and even still, there's some stories. But
you and Jack having a racial conversation at 3 a.m.
Yeah, that was fucking weird. But
Go to sleep, Jack.
But I've been through a lot with those folks. Like in my lifetime, like no, it wasn't not the 60s and nothing like that. But like again, growing up in an area where I'm 15 minutes away from where they literally did not let black folks buy houses because it was
Bill O'Reilly's neighborhood.
Yeah, Bill O'Reilly's neighborhood. Yeah, that'll do something to you.
A lot of people don't know this. Terrence and Bill O'Reilly go way back.
Yeah, we were homeboys back in the day.
Neighbors, one could say.
Yeah, kind of. Like,
Stay over there, nigger.
But even when I moved out here, like Cockeysville is a more
Thanks. We're child
it's
children.
a more
That's why I was saying.
it's a more diverse area now. There's a lot of Mexicans and so on and so forth there now.
Is it Mexicans?
Mexicans, Hispanic, Puerto Ricans, they're all the same, whatever. but, you know what this is. But when I first moved here,
know what show you're listening
it was all white.
Right.
And
Cockeysville was super white.
Yeah, I'm like fucking 13, 14 years old, trying to make friends because I'm new. I don't have a problem making friends. But then when I did make the few friends that I had, they were quick to throw a nigga under the bus when they did some fucked up shit. Mm-hmm. So I had to like distance myself from them because I'm like, yo, y'all niggas are crazy. Like white kids are crazy. Like they just are. They do some fucked up shit, and then they look at me because I'm the black kid.
They were white or because you were new?
No, it was because they were white. Like there was two other black kids. There was one, his name was JR. I remember clearly. I became friends with him, and then there was Alex. He was half black, half Russian. What
the fuck?
Exactly. His name was Alex Asomugha. Very strange. His mother was Russian. His father was black.
It's not as strange as you'd think, by the way.
I was 13, so it was like bizarre.
I can guarantee they probably didn't meet in Russia, but
yeah. But
a lot of Swedish, half black babies too.
I had there was this white girl that I actually became friends with. Her brother was a couple of years older, and her father was a fucking racist. And they saw me walking with her one day, and they weren't too happy about that. So I had to cut that shit off because they were willing to fight me just because I was walking with their white daughter, with his white sister and his white daughter. I wasn't trying to fuck her or nothing. Like I'm like we're just
friends,
chilling. So
you gotta stop it before puberty kicks in.
Well,
yeah, buddy.
So like certain things like
Terrence
that
Jr.'s running around
over the years, like and then I think to myself, at what point do I have to, like you said, you become the person that you hate? Like at what point do I just say like fuck it, I'm tired of y'all niggas. Like I'm tired of trying to teach you that racism is a thing, and I'm not an advocate. I'm not an agent of change. I've never said
I'm not an agent of change.
I've never said that I'm
an agent of chaos.
not an activist. I'm not an agent of change. That's not my responsibility at this point. I'm tired of it.
Well,
so
I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
I'm not going to do that work anymore.
Now, I would say my desire to see you in a blue bubble vest is extremely hard as an activist.
I want to fucking love it or leave it. Like, nah, like I'm not.
Yo, by the way, that's a hilarious Halloween costume. Just black men in blue bubble vests.
Like, who are you?
You know who I
You the
am.
monkey from Planet of the Apes?
Like, then I might hit you in the mouth.
That shit was fun.
I just don't want you to become the thing you hate.
Yeah.
And by saying I hate a whole group of people because of the way they look and a previous experience that I had with people that look like them,
It's
you
not
sound like
one.
a white man.
It's not one previous experience.
No, I know,
It's
but
a bunch it's not all of them either.
It is
Right.
not. That's true. But again, I don't associate with white people. Like,
That's
literally.
completely fine. Look,
Like,
Brad and Jack. That's it.
Yeah. Honestly, that really is it. Like, even if they're trying to, even if they're like super nice at work, I don't trust it. I don't fucking trust you. I really don't. Like,
That's my go-to. That's my go-to standard. I don't trust it.
It's kind of fucked up to think that way, but you haven't given me a reason to not think
Right. I look, I get that. I do. I guess my attitude is like, I don't have like it contrary to popular belief, I think people assume like most of my friends are white. They're not. Like, most of my friends are just fucking everything else.
Which is in.
What's that? They are. Like, you've been to like parties, like,
Yeah.
God damn, where all the hell these people come from? It's
Now,
like,
was that a thing? Is that because
I
of
can
you?
think of maybe
or is
two
that,
white people off the top of my head.
Yeah, they're
the spouses of your sibling-in-laws.
yeah. Yeah, like any like family event is
That's
black
it.
as fuck or
because
brown as fuck.
Yeah, because your family is black as shit.
They are. Like, I think everyone thinks like
Look, trust me.
Nah,
Jay's mama,
you don't
she
fucking
black
know,
as
yo.
fuck.
You don't fucking
my
know.
family's black as shit.
You don't know, yo. Jennifer Lewis and Jay's mom might be the same person.
Yeah, they kind of might be actually. Yeah, they have very similar
look,
personalities.
He might sound white. I don't know what the fuck. Like, he has no accent.
I have no accent.
Yeah, that's just what that is. But like, nah, yeah.
Nah, yo.
Yeah,
Like, you go to my parents' house,
You
it's a
go
black
to
ass
cookout at Jay's parents' house. Nah, you right the fuck at home.
Yeah.
Like,
Yo, this nigga got an Uncle Ralph, yo. He got an Uncle Ralph.
yeah. So I don't know. It's just
and
interesting.
he's a welder, which
Now,
is
do you
like the
think-
most black thing of all time.
He got the cigarette hanging out his
Yeah,
mouth. and
dude,
shit.
this is my family, and like, I'm not ashamed of them or whatever. Like I'm not like I'm not like a weird like black sheep of the family. Like, wow, Jay's so different. No, I'm not at all.
Not at all.
Actually, that's the one time where you'll hear my Baltimore accent come out is when I'm with my family.
That's how it happens. When I go back to New York, I sound like Jesus and Meryl.
What the fuck is going on, Terrence?
But do you think, as far as your friends go, do you think that's because like you have a mixture of friends with your wife, like your friends outside of like your wife's friends? Because your wife, she's just fucking just.
Yo,
she knows every goddamn.
Look,
body.
if my wife ever had to get a federal clearance, do you know how it would be like her? It would be like she'd be like Jared Kushner. Like, she'd have to talk about all these international people. They'd be like, "How long have you known this person in Pakistan? What the fuck are you doing over there?" Right? Like, she knows a lot of people, right? Just of all sorts. But outside of my wife's friends, like just the people I surround myself with generally is just a vast mix of people. Like, it just always has been. Because I always found it important, like ever since pretty much like late high school into college, I always found it important to try to understand other experiences. Like that's always been my thing. And a lot of people assume that means white. It doesn't for me. Like it just does not. Like, I have close friends who are Indian. I have close friends who I consider family who are Indian and Pakistani from Jamaican, like from Trini, like I just have really super close friends like that, right? So they're all over the place, and I have white friends that I consider like almost like family too.
I don't have that.
Yeah, I know you don't, but at the same time, I try to look at people as individuals, but I also recognize the system by which they benefit, right?
Yeah.
And for me, having friends who are from all over, like one of the things like people I think assume about me specifically is that like that I don't talk about like race or something. Like, my wife and I talk about race all the time. all the time. Like, we have conversations not just about like these white people wilding, like not just general like conversation about that, but like what does it mean to be a person of color, depending on your shade in this country, like internationally and stuff like that. Like when we travel, we have to consider those things.
Yeah.
When we, you know, Tiara, who's been on the show before, her and I did a review of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for our other show, right? Dinner Apocalypse, which you should totally watch. But we were talking beforehand, before we started rolling, because my wife and I are looking to move, and she was saying that this is a good preview topic, and I'll just say it so that we can remember to do this. Maybe we'll do it next week, about what it's like when you're talking about living places as a Black person. How do you balance where you live, wanting to be around people who look like you, with like being economically in certain places, right? Because like my wife and I do well, and that's not to be a braggart or anything, but do we choose to be in a place that is of a lower socioeconomic position to make sure we're around all Black people? Right? Because that doesn't bother my wife at all. What the fuck? What does she care? She's a principal of a school that's like 70% Black. It doesn't bother her. She's not afraid of Black people. But do we do that, or do we move to a place that's more socioeconomically in line with where we are, but that's majority white?
See, I couldn't do that.
Right.
I'd have to find that balance.
Right, which is why we're having a hard time finding place. And the place that I've shown you guys that we're considering is in a more balanced area. It just is. And it's around where I grew up. But there are other places that we looked and it was like, wow, these places are really nice. But then it's like, yo, it's mad fucking white. And the funny thing is, I feel that way, and I'm like, I don't want to have the cops called on me, so I don't end up like Colin Warner because I'm walking my dog, and they're like, it's a pit bull. I'm like, it's a boxer, calm down. like I have to consider those things. But more importantly, and this is how, you know, some people who think like you can call me out for not being married to a Black woman, here's the rub on that. My wife will say that shit and be like, this area is too fucking white. And she's not saying it for me. She's saying it for herself too. Like, what the fuck? Like, and how many half Indian neighborhoods are there? There aren't any. But it's important to her to be around people of color because she's a person of color. So, like, I don't know. I mean, all of those things we have to consider. And in this case of the movie, we have to consider the idea of, like, are we in a place that we can feel safe? It's a big deal.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that wasn't, by the way, that conversation wasn't to call you out, but it is a point of seeing people as individuals and things like that. Really, they do matter, right?
I try.
Yeah. And I know you do. We know you do.
We fucking with you, man. I don't.
I mean, I think you're a terrible person, but like that's a different story.
Fair. Yeah. I don't hate white people.
Terrence Hurricane. I won't give out your last name.
I don't hate white people, but I don't trust them. There's only one white person I hate, and that's Michael Rappaport.
I mean, that's a fair. That is a fair.
I tend to hate individuals,
yeah,
but I'm not gonna put a general swath out there. You know what I mean? And look, your life experiences have led you to a place where you know we have had very different life experiences.
Yeah,
and I am not denying your hatred of white people. Hate on. Because we need people like you to keep them motherfuckers in check.
It's the what is it from Selma, like the Malcolm X thing, like allow me to stand on this side so they will run to you. Malcolm X thing, I will scare them into your hands, Martin Luther King. Like, oh shit, here comes Terrence.
Scary. Like, I ain't even scary, really.
But I do think like, you know, in conversations that happen for 30 minutes on this show or 2 hours on this show, they don't give, I mean, we try to be as nuanced as possible, but it's still just a microcosm of the conversations the three of us have outside, right? So we talk more. So I don't want it to seem like that's not going after you. And I don't think you saw it like that anyway. Like that. But
I just wasn't there to defend myself.
Yeah, which is why we said it.
I know.
It's best to stab someone when their back is turned. No, but like that idea of like seeing people as individuals, I think is important. And I see it online a lot where people don't.
Oh.
I mean, look, I didn't say this in a conversation in our Black on Black cinema group, so I'll just say it now. So this is one of those. This is just my speculation. I'm not saying this is true. This is my speculation. The chick who ran for governor in New York from Sex and the City, that white chick,
Cynthia Nixon.
Cynthia Nixon, thank you. And she was like, "Hey, I'm for legalizing marijuana because I think putting all these black people in jail for this shit is modern day slavery, and I think it's fucked up, and I want to help and all this other stuff." She got L. Joy Williams from This Week in Blackness on her campaign, all this shit, doing all the right things. She got 0% of the black vote. You know what my theory is? This is what happens when you paint people all the fucking same. And you say, don't trust white people. They're all lying. They're all evil. It's all bullshit. You had some
0%.
0%. And she was doing the right things. But because she's a white woman, people didn't fucking listen to her. And they just fucking ignored it. And look, she's running against a white person. You're like, well, that white guy got all these percentage vote. He's an incumbent, though. Most incumbents people just vote. I don't know. This guy's in office.
I recognize that name.
That's it. But when you have somebody pushing against the system and you label them all the same, you get no level of nuance. So David Duke is painted in the same position as Cynthia Nixon is. That's not fucking right. And that would be like saying that Colin Warner is the same as this guy who fucking murdered this guy, right? Yeah. Like, that's the problem. So when you don't, and this is not about you, but when you don't take those level of nuances with people, like, that's what happens, right? When you say, like, I hate white people, I know, because I know you, that what you're talking about is your fucking experiences have led you to show, or led you to see that the fucking, like, whiteness as a generality has fucked over. Yeah, TM, right? Trademark. Has fucked over black people, and that system by which white people benefit is ruining not only it's in your way, it's in as Colin would say in this movie, your brethren's way, right? Like, it has gotten in the way of black people prospering, right? And I recognize that because I know you. The problem is 50% of the fucking population is of average intelligence or dumber. And they read this shit on the internet and they go, yeah. And they go, yep, Cynthia Nixon, white, nope, not voting for her. And that's why that shit happens. And it will continue to happen.
Her for saying, I remember that they got on her for saying that, like, she wanted, like, people not to go to prison for like marijuana usage, and I don't know if she said anything about reparations, or she said something about that.
She was saying that, like, she wanted to give, like, she wanted to give specific state funding to allow women of color and people of color in general to get some sort of, like, tax relief so that they could open their own, like, dispensaries and things like that, right? And she was like, I see that as some sort of form of reparations. I believe that was her point.
And people got on her about that. I'm like, are we saying this because she's a white woman? And look, not too fond of them either. But, like, she's
right
telling the truth.
Right, but that's because you are a person of nuance. So you can see what she's saying, right? You can be like, I don't really fuck with y'all, but I get what you're saying. Yeah. I agree with you, right? But at the same time, like, a lot of people don't read that shit. They just read a fucking headline. They go, nope. Check.
0%?
Next.
Wow.
0%.
That's wild.
That's insane to me. But I think that's the reason why that happened.
Terrence's view on white people is like mine on religion. You may believe something very strongly, but in the face of absolute logic, you are willing to admit that shit don't make sense.
Right. Like, I mean, really? Sea monsters and shit? That's wild.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, Terrence's hatred of white people is his religion.
Yeah. Like, his religion is nonsense, and like, I know it is an irrational.
It is an irrational.
It's irrational, but, like, look, sometimes
but it's what I believe.
Right.
It's what I was raised to believe.
It makes me feel good.
Yeah, that's okay.
It is.
Y'all got robes and everything. This is
sometimes them niggas just get on my goddamn nerves. Right?
That's really funny. My hatred for white people is so English. Do you have a book? What's the book that you guys read? Whitey Ain't Shit by Terrence. Wow. This is a hell of a book. This is a read.
We got off on an incredible tangent.
Yeah, but I thought it was good. But I thought that was a good one. But I think it's important.
It goes with this story. It most certainly goes with this movie.
Yeah. So where are we?
We're like 10 minutes into the movie. No, about 20 minutes in.
No, by my account, it's like 10. Wow. All right, let's skip ahead.
He gets thrown in jail. He's
in jail. He's in jail for a while, by the way, at this point. I'm going to skip up to.
Well, the most important thing is he's in jail and he just refuses to admit to something he didn't do. That's why he's in this as long as he.
Could you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not
100%.
Yeah, that's exactly, again, this is a fucking parallel to Khalif Browder. Khalif Browder did the same thing. It's like, I'm not going to admit to something I didn't do. That's why he was in jail for so long.
Yeah, for a book
Like,
bag.
yeah, like, I didn't do that. Fuck you. And I would do that. Even like
that I believe 100% about you.
Like after a certain point, like I'm in jail. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna get my ass kicked. Fuck it. Yeah. You know, I'm not gonna admit to this shit.
That's my name, yo.
Yeah.
That's my identity.
Because once you say it,
yeah, right. that's on you. Like no, yo, I
for you.
do not like being fucking. Don't do that because I am ready to fight you.
Don't tell me I did something that I didn't do.
Yeah, that drives me fucking insane. So I would be like, nah, fuck you. I didn't do this. I didn't. Like, if I'm saying I didn't do this and I'm willing to go through all this shit, you really think I did it? Like, come on, yo. At what point?
Yeah.
20 years, yo. I didn't do this. I done had my ass kicked. I done thrown me in the freaking solitary confinement, and I'm still saying no, I didn't do it.
Yeah,
you got to come to a point where like, yo, maybe this nigga didn't do it.
He seems really adamant about it.
Like, why are you getting so angry if you didn't know? Because you would throw me in prison, bitch.
I'm in prison. This is really hard. Have you been here? Yeah. It's terrible. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine a scenario where I would cop to murder.
Yeah, no,
I'd just be in jail, dude. I'd just be in jail. I hope the Innocent Project picks up my fucking story.
Right.
Like, look, I'm a podcaster. I used to be. Help me, please. I mean, that's one of the things, by the way, when I was watching this, like the Innocence Project, which for those who don't know, is completely designed to help people who are innocent or presumed innocent to get them out of prison, right? They didn't have this shit in the 1980s and 90s while he was there. Like, that is a real thing. I mean, the Innocent Project, like, took the fucking first season of Serial and, you know, all that shit. But no, they didn't have that. So it's wild. It's really super wild to think that this guy just had his buddy do it. An 18-year-old kid. Like this guy.
Well, at the start.
At the start, but not until the very end did he really have people
like
really
last
super
2
working.
years. They're like, oh shit, like this doesn't add up at all.
Yeah, this is wild.
And they didn't have like forensics and all that shit back in the early 80s. Like that was like brand new.
Yeah, exactly.
So. And
also really expensive, I'm sure. Right. One of the things that happens while he's in prison during this sort of arraignment time, and then we're going to skip ahead a while into the story, is he overhears some people talking about the murder in Flatbush, which is the one he's being charged with. And so he confronts the guy who's talking about it, and he was like, yeah, I know who killed this guy that they say you killed. And he's like, all right, cool. Can you fucking talk to the cops, my guy? Like old ass Common? Like get your ass over there. And so they bring in the two cops that arrested Colin and have him talk to old Common. And they basically say, like, all right, tell us your story. He tells, like, hey, no, everybody in the neighborhood knows this is bullshit. Like, this dude didn't do it. And they're like, well, do you have proof? And he's like, or how did you hear about this? And he goes, oh, somebody told me. And they're like, who? And he's like, well, they're not going to talk to the cops. And they're like, okay, that's cool. That means nothing to us. So we're done. You just wasted our time. Which, by the way, that goes to the whole stop snitching movement. I'm a snitch. I'm a snitch. If I see you murder somebody, I'm a snitch. Sorry. I am. You don't just get to murder people and just walk the fuck away, go play basketball. What kind of shit is that? No, you got to go to jail. Don't do crime around me. Like, don't. Like, I've seen criminality happen, but it's like low-level shit. Like, you selling weed, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Cough, cough, my neighbors.
Stealing from a Kmart.
I mean, but if that helps me personally, I mean, let's say I don't ever. Allegedly, allegedly that my DVD collection is 70% of it is stolen items from an old Kmart that's not there anymore. Shout out to you. But that type of low level criminality, I don't care about. You can't murder somebody in front of me. No, you got to go to jail. No, stop snitching. No, I'm snitching. start snitching. Stop that shit. Unless you in a gang and you're like, we're going to kill you if you say something, I'd be like, all right, you're right. you're making a lot of good points. But nah, if you just some dude, you got to go to jail. You got to go to jail. I'm sorry. You don't get to murder innocent people. It's fucked up. Although that guy wasn't innocent either, but still, you don't get to murder people. Nah. So fast forward, at this point, 6 months, Colin's been in prison. This I thought was fucked up. I'd be interested to talk to your wife, who's a lawyer, about this. Although she's not a criminal lawyer.
She knows a lot of criminal lawyers, though.
Yeah. They consolidate Colin and Anthony Gibson's cases together. He's the guy who they brought in who actually did the shooting. They consolidate the cases together, which is fucked up because then it just means that in the eyes of the jury, they're just seen as being in cahoots, which I thought was kind of fucked.
Yeah.
That being said, Anthony Gibson is played by the dude from Atlanta who was sleeping with who he thought was a woman in jail in the first season.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, the guy who yells at Donald Glover, it's like, stop acting fucking weird. Like, it's him. This movie, by the way, is just a reunion of everyone in Atlanta.
It kind of is.
There's a ton of people in this movie from that. The only person who's not in it is Donald Glover, who I assume is producing this. I don't know. They were just like, we sick of that nigga. He's too successful. We're doing our own movie. And they did. So that the consolidation thing was a really big deal. Anthony refuses to play ball in that situation. At one point, 2 years into the trial, they show video of Reagan's sort of tough on crime speech that's playing in the background. The lawyers bring in Clarence Lewis, this kid who says that he saw the shooting and says that Colin was involved. They pick him up because he got picked up for armed robbery. So then they basically threatened him and said, hey, we'll give you 25 years for armed robbery unless you put Colin in on this crime. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, he does because he's a kid and he's scared. And he's like, I'm not really trying to do 25 years. So he damns him to 21 years, basically.
I couldn't be a cop, yo. I couldn't essentially verbally strong arm someone into doing something like that. Like just to close a case. Like these niggas don't care who murdered this guy. They want
not at all.
They want to knock this off of their to-do list.
Yeah, his life. Just throw it off a to-do list.
I don't know. I couldn't do it.
No, I don't even understand how you could. Like as a human being, how you could just not give a fuck about someone as a human being to be like, yeah, like you said, like I think this guy might be innocent. Like let's look into it. They're like, I just really try.
Yeah, but that'll fuck up my case.
Yeah,
that'll fuck up my case. Right?
I don't want any blood in my ledger. So fuck it. Just toss away this guy. But that goes to show you how little the justice system cares about black people. Like they just don't give a fuck. They just don't care. So and I shouldn't even, I mean, black people obviously specifically for this movie, but it's just people of color. Like that's why they are damn near choking the prison system with brown and black bodies. Like they just don't give a fuck. So it's disheartening in a lot of ways. So at the 2-year mark, Anthony is given a choice that he could cop to all of this and get 2 to 5 years for capital murder. And that would, if he copped to it, then that would leave Colin at a point where he would just walk free. And he was like, nah, I'm good. They don't got nothing on me.
That kid don't know nothing. He ain't see shit.
Like, nigga, he's on the stand lying. You ain't too bright. Like, nah, you dead to rights. You know, like, you did this shit. Like, whatever. So he won't take a 2 to 5 year plea. Like, they basically, even the lawyer was like, this is insanely low for capital murder. Like I thought that white guy was like, nigga, take the deal. What the fuck are you doing? And so he doesn't take the deal, fucking over Colin, and it goes full on to trial. And then he gets 9 years to life, and Colin gets 15 to life because Colin is charged as an adult because he's 18
months older than him. God damn.
I'd have tried to kill him in that courtroom. I'd be like, no, I didn't do that murder, but watch as this murder
attempt to do this one.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna throw some years, whatever.
Yeah, I'm earning easiest right now. Like, no, yo, I cannot.
Dead presidents throw the goddamn chair. That oh man,
I was a Marine, goddammit. Colin's response is like of stoicism, and his mom is crying as this sentence comes down, and it's really sad and brutal, obviously emotionally brutal. But I don't know that I'd be able to be stoic. I would just be like,
no.
Like, I know myself, and I'm a very mild-mannered person to a point. And I know I would have probably had that dead president's moment where I would have flipped out. Oh, I'm going to jail? Oh, hell no. I'd have tried to kill that nigga next to me, No. I'd be like, step aside. I'm going to try to murder this guy.
Yo, when they put those two back in that cell together,
That'd have been no rap.
that's it, yo.
You
That's
wouldn't have
it.
came out.
Nah, you wouldn't have.
Like, don't worry about his
Fuck
sentencing.
you.
He good. Now he's sleeping right now. Like,
Yeah, like damn, he's been asleep for a while.
I killed him in there.
Nah, yeah. Again, I'm pretty mild mannered to right there. If you get me to a point where I'm pissed, there's no in between. Like I'm here, I'm cool. This point, I'm at 100, and I'm going to try to kill you.
It's like a light switch.
Yeah, it's a switch. Yo, like don't like if you get me to that point where I'm ready to fight, like legitimately, not like jokingly ready to fight. Oh, we're just gonna fight. I'm gonna hit you with a brick.
Maximum effort.
Yeah. Right. I'm gonna use this brick to fight. Yeah,
That show was funny. Can I have a gun? No.
Like no, I'm gonna try to kill you, yeah.
I just cannot imagine
Yeah. This
why
is
they
the scene
thought.
right here.
Like,
I
I
would
can't
have kept
imagine-
choking him until he died.
That's
Yeah.
it.
No, like I got you. Like I'm not gonna let you go. He was like, I could have been home right now. I'd feel like, yeah, I'd have
You
worse
could be
things
home.
to say about
Could
it.
be home.
Yeah.
Like
Now you about to go home and meet your maker.
I believe they call it a home going. Like, nah, yo. Like to me, choking was a very nice way of doing that scene because I would have just kept slamming his head into that gate until he fell down. I can't imagine the emotional devastation I would be in to know that I just got 15 years for a crime
For something
I
I
didn't commit.
didn't do. Nah, yeah. That's why I said I couldn't do it because I'd probably end up dying in prison. Because I don't know if I'd be able to adjust.
Oh, I when I was watching this, I said, "Oh, Terrence wouldn't have made it to trial."
When that dude told you to get off the phone, he was like,
Yep, that's
That would've
it.
been
You
it.
would have died right there.
nah.
Like, nah, I can't. It's that switch, yo.
They wouldn't even have gotten to that Rodney King style beating in that basement. No, you would have been dead right there. Because you would have
is
killed that
fucked up,
cop.
yo.
Like that cop would have, that
Right.
guard would have been, it would have been a wrap for him.
This is fucked up, yo. That is just imagining. Like you said, I would have killed that nigga in his cell. They put me back
Yep.
in that cell. I'd have choked him to death.
Yep.
And then
How
okay,
responsible is that, by
like-
the way?
Yeah, that's what I said. Like legally, he just fucked that other guy and be like, yo, we gotta separate these niggas. Oh, you gonna kill this
They
kid.
just threw them back in the same cell.
Yeah, they be fine.
That's dangerous. Maybe they wanted me to do that.
Yeah,
so
they
they
were
could
like-
actually get me for something because they didn't have me for this.
Nah,
How
he
you
would have,
murdered that kid in the cell. Like, did I?
he tripped.
You didn't see it. Prove it. Well, they didn't prove that I didn't murder this other guy, so it don't matter.
It don't matter. I'd have earned those years, dude. I would have been like, look, like, oh, why are you here? They say you killed somebody. Yeah.
I did
Yeah. 5 minutes ago.
in the cell.
Yeah.
Like, damn, you crazy? Like, not really.
You gotta understand my circumstances. Let me rewind the clock back to I went and picked up my mom's TV and his shit went off the fucking rails.
Yeah, that nigga would have been dead.
Nah, that's a wrap for you. So
And he knew it. That's why he didn't fight back.
why would you screw him? You know that you're not going to get off. But as a crab in the barrel ass nigga that you would ruin his life to be like, no, they're gonna let me off. They're not gonna let you off, dude. They're not. He doesn't even know if that kid saw him, right? You walked up to this guy in daylight and put a gun behind his head and shot him. You're guilty. Do the 2 to 5 years. I mean, what Colin says to him is important. He's like, you man enough to do the crime, but you're not man enough to suffer the consequences.
Yeah.
Nope. At one point, Colin links up with some other West Indians, which is that one dude from The Wire. that are from Brownsville. And it turns out they're in a gang. And they had like a really weird interaction where I guess they were like raping dudes in showers or some shit. And then like,
I don't know what the hell.
Yeah, that was fucking odd. And those Latino dudes were like, nah, we didn't appreciate that. We're going to have to beat the brakes off of your ass. And so they beat up Colin at one point because they thought he was associated with this guy. And so once Colin realizes like they're kind of a gang, he's like, nah, I can't roll with you. And the dude from the Y just headbutted him, which is just disrespectful as fuck.
Like, ow.
You got a big, and he had like a big ass Bonks adventure head too. Like, nah, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. That's a deep cut, right? That was a deep cut.
Terrible graphics, my nigga.
Yeah, Turbo Graphics 16, absolutely. See, I used to play video games back in the day. I am more than just what you see here. So the guy was like, all right, cool, you can't be in my gang. That's fine. He's like, fuck off, you don't get to eat our food. Again, I'll eat prison slop and not be a gang rapist. I'm cool with it. Sacrifices needed to be made. So then the moment where Terrence would have been murdered happens. Colin has a conversation with a guard. He's on the phone, and the guard tells him to get off the phone early. And he was just fucking with Colin because Colin and him had an interaction earlier, basically. And after he gets off the phone with his mother, Colin takes the phone.
It just cracks him in the fucking head. I'm like, whoa, you dead. I'm like, you about to die today.
Yeah, that was a solid ass hit, too.
Yeah,
he
cracked his head. I'm like, ooh. Well,
that's gotta hurt, by the way.
Yeah, with a phone.
Yeah. And that's what, it's 1989. That's when like people were still using those phones. Like that in a jail. Now you gotta make that shit made out of hollow plastic. Like that's gotta be a KB Toys phone. Like get out of here. But yeah, he hit him with what I assume was a phone full of cement. And then he just beats up the guard. Then that guard decides, oh, that's cool. It's adorable what you did. I'm gonna get me and 5 other guards to take you down in the basement, strip you naked, and beat you like Rodney King. And they wore his ass out. You stripping off your clothes after they already hit you once? I'll be like, nah.
No.
Yeah, no. Like you're gonna take them off me. I'm not doing it myself. I know what's gonna happen,
so just go ahead and fucking do it.
Yeah.
No. You think this is body armor?
Yeah. Like this shit hurt just the same.
Right.
Like,
I love that where he's like,
keep the welts off of me a little bit.
Well, he was like, take your clothes off. I feel like, you're gonna beat the shit out of me anyway. I'm not gonna cover up the bruises so y'all don't get in trouble later. No. Hit me in the face. Go ahead. At least I can try to plead with the warden, which will not work later on. Yeah, so they beat the brakes off him.
Where they get a 2x4? That scene where they grabbed him up in the hall and just hit that nigga with a. I'm like, where did that come from?
Maybe they
wood
have
shop.
They might have like a wood shop. Yeah.
I mean,
why are you letting niggas walking around with 2x4s in
now
prison?
that is the question.
Like, that's what I'm asking. Like,
where are you going? The other wood shop, nigga. If you don't get your Mexican ass back here, no.
Like, yo, this dude is walking down the hallway with a big ass 2x4. I'm like, that seems a little dangerous in prison.
Hey,
but okay.
Jim Duggan, where are you going? That's fine.
Yeah, okay. That's just weird to me.
Nah. And by the way, if you're going to sneak attack somebody, the way they did it was pretty solid. Take the towel and wrap it around his arms.
And he couldn't do shit. I'm like, damn. Yeah.
Bam. It's like, well, people in prison are very resourceful.
Again, like, as long as you're not trying to steal something from me, I'd hire somebody that was... Because, like, yo, first of all, I don't think they're trying to go back. And then, like, they're fucking inventors.
Yeah.
Like Einsteins and shit.
No,
the shit they come up with in prison.
They make alcohol in toilets. Yo, use your powers for good.
Yeah.
I mean you want to talk about the quintessential, like, you know, what is it? Necessity is the mother of invention. Like, you know, I need to get drunk, make some shit in a toilet out of like old plums or some shit. I don't even know where hooch in jail comes from, but that shit is amazing. Like, that's amazing to me that people do it. I had a buddy growing up. His dad was a guard at a prison, like down in Jessup. Like, nope. He was once shot during that whole thing, which was wild too. But nah, that's not a job for me. But like he said he tried like jailhouse hooch. He was like, yo, that shit is super strong. No, I'm good. And I like scotch. No, thank you. I'm not drinking toilet hooch. I'm good. I'm sure. Again, I'm sure we'll get a comment in the a comment on YouTube. Oh, y'all ain't real jail niggas. You're right. I don't want toilet hooch. I'm okay with that. I buy it in a bottle from a store.
It's like I don't want trash liquor. Because they make it in like plastic bags and shit. I don't think they use the toilet per se.
Where else you making it? I'm pretty sure it comes
put it in like a bag.
Yeah, like after they scoop it out of the toilet, man.
I don't know if the toilet is involved.
All right. Jail hooch recipe. I need to know. Combine fruit cocktail, apples, raisins, and oranges in a 1 gallon Ziploc bag. But they make it in a toilet, dude. I'm telling you, dude. They do.
Just let that shit ferment, which is...
How to make prison wine. All right, LA Magazine. Fuck off with this. This is white people bullshit. Come on, yo.
I rest my case.
All right, that's fair. You know what? I take that whole conversation.
Bullshit is that? That's like prison wine. Pruno. That's what it's called.
Shit. How stuff works. Do people in prison really make toilet wine? Yes. Yes, they do. Toilet wine is still toilet wine by another name. Yes, they do. It's gross. Well, yo, I'd be like, yo, I gotta take a shit. Can you stop trying to make fucking whistle pig in the fucking toilet, my nigga? They'd be like, nah, you gotta try this. I'm like, nah, yo, I saw you shitting there last week, my guy. Last fucking week. You're gross. Next up, after he gets beaten up by the guards, what happens is he gets 2 years of solitary confinement. Excuse me? What? No.
He hit a guard. That's like the one thing you shouldn't do.
Look, they didn't kill your ass.
Yeah.
The only reason they didn't is because solitary confinement is worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be like, nah, keep beating me, please. I don't want to live in a hole for fucking 2 years. This shit is nuts. So at this point, Antoinette has gone with Karl to see Colin, which is a really big part of this. And look, it goes to the narrative, and it's not really a narrative because this happened for real. Yo, like no bullshit. Like real black women will stand by a black man, a good black man, through everything. And Antoinette's role in this is incredible to me.
Hey, it's huge because there's one point where he just gives up.
Yeah, and she don't give up on him when he gives up. Like that. Look, you can't say nothing to her about nothing when your ass get out of prison. I thought you should have maybe cleaned the dishes a different way. Nigga, I was there for 20 goddamn years. Shut up. You right.
Open my door.
I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, all right, you right.
All right, fine.
All right. Look, that's my standard. You need to be standing by me for 21 years when I am wrongfully in prison before I'm opening a door at a KFC while you wearing jeans and tennis shoes and ain't wearing a special dress. Get the fuck out of my face. Open your own goddamn door. I open the door for everybody.
No, not that. At that point, you know what? I
open the door.
I feel like I'd be obliged. I feel like I'd.
No, you gotta do everything.
No. Again, I open doors on buildings for
exactly.
everybody. Not a car door, but at that point, yeah, fuck it. I'll open the car door for you.
Yeah.
If I was in prison for 21 years and you ain't give up on me, okay, I'll open the car.
Look,
door.
I would have
there you go. I have the fucking black coat on with the white gloves. Here you go, ma'am.
Yeah.
And close the shit for you.
Look, I would have a
fine. I'll pull your chair out. You happy? Goddamn.
Y'all niggas crazy.
Look, I would have a backpack with a little rolled up red carpet. When I open the door, I throw that shit out like, bam, there you go.
I don't want you to get your shoes wet.
Yeah, no, you good. You good. I'll throw my jacket over the puddle so that you don't have to walk your ass around it because that somehow made sense during chivalry times, right? Never understood it.
Man.
But
That's
yeah,
funny.
that's my standard. You got to stand by me for 21 years when I'm wrongfully in prison. And then I'll open a car door for you. You're a grown-ass woman. No. Wearing jeans and a t-shirt. Kind of shit. We going to Target. Get the fuck out of here. No. So she's really been standing by him. She found out that he was innocent. Karl was like raising $15,000 for his appeal.
Yo, I think I had to choke this nigga out too. Yo, that appeal lawyer.
Oh no, he had to die right there.
Yo.
I thought when this appeal lawyer goes up and he's just like and he's like can't get the case together and he don't know shit. I thought Karl was about to scream out, "Nigga, what are you doing?" Like he was so close.
Choke him out in the hallway when it was over. Like, yo, you just wasted $15,000.
I'd be like, "No, you need to
Or you gonna give me my fucking
give me my
back.
money back." Now that's that. Look, Karl didn't get black enough because I'd be like, "Give me my money back, or I'm gonna break every bone in your legs, every one of them. I'm gonna kick your leg out of your leg." Like, nah, yeah. Like, nah, I would have flipped out.
Crazy. I'd have been so pissed.
He was just like, have you ever seen My Cousin Vinny?
Yeah.
I've seen it. I don't remember.
You remember that scene where they hired that appeal lawyer and, he's like, no, I'll do really great for you. And then he gets up there and he has a massive stuttering problem. He's like, the jury. And they was like, no. That was the same thing to me. I'd have been like, nah. Yeah. He was like, I think we did good. He was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Couldn't get 9 words out. No offense to people who stutter. So at this point, it's been 12 years. Colin is writing letters to Antoinette. By the way, she has been around. She stuck with him from year 6 on. Right?
Yeah.
So she ain't even coming in 21 years. She came in a little less, but I'll allow it. I mean, 15 years is.
15 years.
I mean, look, you're still putting in your time. It's the minimum. 15 is the minimum amount of years.
Before you open a car.
That's right. That's you goddamn right. You got on jeans and we're going to Target. No.
15 or more.
15 or more.
Shit.
Get out of my face. So at this point, at 12 years, Colin has become what I would argue is comfortable in jail. Right, he grew his dreads out because he had cut them for the courtroom. I think he's starting at this point to see himself as just being there for the rest of his life, which is an important moment in the movie, but it's also a sad point. Antoinette visits him more and more frequently. She relays a story that even as kids, she always knew he was a good kid. Right, she is very much in love with him. And he's obviously been in love with her since before he was arrested. Then, like Terrence talked about, Karl meets that slick talking lawyer who is just a fucking mushmouth once he gets in front of a judge and wastes their $15,000. At that point, Karl floats another $5,000, or at that point, Karl had floated a $5,000 line of credit to get them to $15,000 to pay that shitty lawyer. And of course, his wife confronts him about it, Brianna, who is Colin's sister, because they have 4 kids on the way, or their 4th kid on the way, and she's like, "Yo, we can't afford this," which is fucked up that she has to weirdly choose between her own life and her brother.
She said there's going to be 4 of us.
Yeah, she's pregnant.
2 children.
Oh,
so she's got a kid
I got
now,
you.
and the second one is coming. So
Yeah,
it's
I got
her, him, and 2 children.
Yeah, I got you. There's also a moment where Bill Clinton signing the crime bill is played in the background, which is super important. There was also a moment I want to kind of cut back to. There was also a moment where Antoinette is talking to Colin, and he says, like, when he's talking about what it's like being in prison and being innocent, he makes a point to say that the other guys who are in prison have basically the luxury.
I like that line. He was like, he says, "I'm in here for something I didn't do." Most of these people have preserved themselves. They're comfortable. They have that comfort that they are in here because of what they did.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Damn."
And I wrote that down as a clip to play. Like, it's a powerful line. Like, a weird luxury of guilt, of known guilt, where he doesn't have that to lean on. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, I did fuck it up.
Nigga. Yeah, he said they earned the right to be here, essentially.
Yeah.
So they're kind of comfortable with the fact that they're in here, knowing that they may not get out. But I didn't do anything.
Yeah. So
and
you just live with that hell.
I wake up every morning like, yo, I'm in this bitch for something I did not do. I think that would drive me to the point of just
insanity. Right?
Like, I'd be a dangerous person in prison if I'm in there for something I didn't do. Like someone would kill me. I'm not the biggest. Someone would kill me because I'll be like, yo, I'm in this bitch for something I didn't do. That drives me crazy. Don't talk to me.
Every day.
Yeah. I just
Give me a pudding.
Lunatic.
Give me a pudding. No.
Suck my dick.
No.
From the back, nigga.
They'd be like, all right.
Like what?
Like, whoa. Like, yeah, see, don't quote Desus and Mero in prison. You get your whole life fucked up. They'd be like, oh, it ain't no joke.
Oh, well.
I mean, I'll still do it. Like, oh, slow down. That funny. Would be horrible. So at that point, Antoinette goes to see Colin in a conjugal visit. Yeah. This is great. This is the best part about being in jail.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, what other good parts are there about being in jail? At least, I mean, look.
Yes.
She fine. She's super fun, by the way. Yeah. Wow.
She could easily play Pangria. She's not big enough, though.
She has very nice breasts.
She
just does.
I'm sorry. Anyway, continue.
She does. She knew it when she took her shirt off in this scene. She was like, I got this. Like, you do. No, she looks good. No, she's beautiful. Also, a woman with dreadlocks are incredibly attractive to me. So,
who else is beautiful? What's his name's wife as well? I find her super attractive.
Oh, Karl's wife?
Karl's wife.
She's got some soup coolers. Bingo. Yeah.
Exactly.
Also a fan of her as well.
Yeah.
I've seen her in something else.
I thought it was, what's her name from, when I first saw her, I thought it was, what's her name? Some orgy from, what's her name? What's her name's friend? Issa's friend from,
from Insecure?
I thought it was her at first. They have a very similar
look.
I
can see that. Yeah, but that woman has never seen a penis before, right? Isn't she like 55 years old virgin or some shit?
She's like 30 something.
Might as well be 55. You 30, my nigga. 30. Yeah. Come on, yo. Fuck someone before you die. Jesus Christ. When they put your ass out the pasture. You're 30 years old. You never had sex with an adult.
The right person or real sex.
Yo, your first time sex is going to be whack. It's going to be whack. Are you kidding me? Who wants to have sex with a 30-year-old virgin? You creep? No, any guy who wants to fuck a 30-year-old virgin is a creep. They're a creep. Let me show you the ways. Ew, nigga, ew.
Oh, shit.
Nah, yo. Nobody wants to pop that top on that Pringles can. Get out of here. No. It's fucking weird. It's weird. It's weird.
Look.
No, I don't.
Do you? That's weird to me, but.
Nah, yo. We've all had sex with, I assume we've all had sex with a virgin. Probably the first time you've had sex.
Maybe. I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
But like, sex with a virgin sucks. It's not great.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yvonne is what her name is. I mean, she's had fake sex on Insecure plenty of times. Right?
Trollop.
That doesn't translate?
No.
It's like, I don't know. I don't know how that works.
That's like how people were like, oh, if somebody can dance good, they're good in bed. That's not true.
Nah, that ain't true.
Oh, can he do the hustle or whatever? That doesn't mean anybody can fuck.
Fucking electric slide in bed. What the fuck?
Hold on, girl. Oh, back it up. Oh, shit. Like, nah.
That's how you fuck? Hey, what the?
That's one of the dumbest things people say. If they can dance, no. If the person's got big shoes, I mean, it's got a big dick. Big dude can have a micro penis. Like, you don't know what the fuck is going on. The president's 239 pounds. He's a svelte 239. He's the same size as Tim Tebow, apparently. Fuck out of here. Nobody with a big dick acts like him. That guy's a tiny penis.
No, like, what was it? It was on Brilliant Idiots. They were like, he's really fucking dumb. So he probably has like a giant dick.
Oh, yeah. Like, are you ready for the president who gets smash ass? Like, you're not ready for that. Nobody wants to see that tape. It's terrible. Colin at this point has been in prison for 15 years. And then we see a video of Governor George Pataki talking about denying parole for violent criminals, enforcing the death penalty in New York. Then Karl gives a ride to his friend and finds out his friend is a legal process server, which means he just serves people legal documents. And so he was like, "Oh, do you meet a lot of lawyers doing that?" And he's like, "Yeah, absolutely." And so he goes to take the process server exam, and of course he passes it, and so he becomes a process server. This lawyer comes up to him and he's like, "All right, cool, man, we need a process server. Come see me tomorrow at this address." And so he kind of befriends these lawyers. Isn't that the lawyer from The Night Of? That lawyer, isn't he the cop from The Night Of?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that guy's a good actor. I like him. He was a son of a bitch in that show, though.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was a real asshole. And so he kind of befriends them. They're a really small law firm. Like, they're literally doing it out of their house. I thought this was one of these like cheesy white people jokes where the woman hears his accent. She's like, "Oh, where are you from?" He's like, "Oh, from Trinidad." And she had an accent too. He's like, "Oh, where are you from?" She's like, "Oh, I'm from Ireland." He's like, "Oh," she's like, "Oh, we're both from the islands." Like, that's not the same. Don't do that.
No, an islander.
Like,
That's like saying someone
Sure.
from Long Island. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, she's from an island, right? Wait,
I mean, yeah, Ireland is an island.
I'm born in Manhattan. I'm an islander.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, okay.
why not?
Like, nice try. But yeah, they're small time lawyers, so he kind of befriends them. Then Colin gets a notice about a upcoming parole hearing, so he figures, hey, this is his chance. He does the parole hearing, and it goes really bad. I wanted to punch this parole officer in the face. I really did. Because it wasn't about even listening to Colin. It was about just pushing basically what Pataki said, which is, hey, this guy's a violent criminal. We're done. And it's one of these rare moments where you wish that the internet had existed with memes and shit at this time so that Colin could quote this. But the guy's like, well, you know, you got into a fight with a guard. And he was like, yeah, I was 18. He's like, yeah, but you still did it and all that stuff. He should have been like, why are you bringing up bullshit? Like, nigga, I've been here for 15 years. He was like, I addressed that problem. He's like, oh, I don't think you have addressed it. And I'd be like, all right. Like, that I know about myself. Like, if that guy was like that adamant where I knew I wasn't getting out, I'd be like, yo, fuck yourself. I'm out of here. Yo, guard. Like, stop playing with my time. Yo, fuck off. I've got time to sit in a box. I don't have time to sit in front of you.
But Jay, what do you think J.R. Smith was thinking at the time? How the fuck am I supposed to know what he was thinking? Yeah, but what do you think he was thinking? Like, all right. I'm going to take my suit and my suit shorts and my purse and I'm getting out of here.
My $41,000 bag. That's how
What?
Much that bag is
how much that bag
$41,000.
Wow. How much do those shorts cost? 20,000?
I think it was like
Maybe
100.
half.
No, the short. They actually priced his suit.
I'm not
Oh,
wearing.
it was
I'm
a
not
meme.
wearing shoot shorts.
Nah, I'm not doing
suit
that.
shorts. I'm not doing. It.
I'm not Opie from the fucking Little Rascals.
Or like super rich white. I went to a wedding, like on this island. There was another islander, obviously, and yeah, there was like these two guys. They had on the shorts, and I was like, what? Like, no, what are you doing?
Like the jacket was the second most expensive thing. It was like $1,400 or something like that. Everything else was like under $200.
Oh, $1,400. That's not so bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
got
the
millions of
goddamn
dollars.
bag was $41,000.
No.
That's
Is it a
insanity.
Birkin bag? Isn't that what,
I don't know what the
Drake's
fuck
bitch ass collects for women that he eventually wants to marry? That's not creepy at all, Drake. It's not creepy at all. I know, he's so cool. Good. Dumbass. Take care of your kids.
Oh,
fake ass Jamaican accent. Anyway, so yeah, he doesn't get parole. Before the parole hearing, though, Colin got married to Antoinette. And they had a prison marriage, which they then didn't get a conjugal visit after, which I thought was offensive.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
I'm like, yo, look, I just got married. I'm about to blow this woman's back all the way out, right through this cheap ass cot.
I'm trying to blow a hole in forever.
I'm like, look,
blast a hole.
I'd be like, look, their daughter was there, like her daughter from a previous marriage was there. I'd be like, look, somebody take her ass home. Y'all come get Antoinette in a couple of hours. We got work to do. Fuck out of here. Just wait outside, and hopefully not in earshot. You're gonna hear a lot of screaming, a lot of happy noises. It's been a long time. But yeah, he just had to go back to jail. That's fucked up. That would be the time I would attack a guard. Like if I just got married to this woman who has stood by me for that long, and then somebody was like, "Hey, get off the phone," I'd be like, "Don't do that today. Like, don't do that,
Please.
Officer friendly. Don't do that. Like, nah, yo,
Hey, let me have this, please.
please.
I'm already in for nothing.
Yeah, like because if you don't,
Like, well,
stab you.
I guess I've earned some of this time. I didn't beat the shit out of you with a phone a couple months back, but
Just let me
I
have
was
the day.
warranted.
Yeah, just let me have the day, man. I was trying to talk to my mom on the on the phone. Just let me have the day, please. God damn it, please. So after getting denied parole, he flips out. Like he really does flip out because at this point he's like, "Look, I didn't get it. They want me to say I killed this man, and I'll never do that." He's like, "Stop standing by me. Just leave me. Just like leave me alone." And he gives up, which is understandable. And she feels horrible because. Not just because he yelled at her. I don't think it's as simple as that, but I think it's also because she sees it as him giving up on himself, even though she hasn't, which has got to be hard to watch. Right. And she cares about him. And I mean, they're married. So she's like, "Oh, we're just not doing conjugal visits no more. All right, nigga. Thanks." Then we get a scene that is just hilarious, which is Karl feels comfortable enough to tell these other lawyer friends that he has now about Colin's case, and he's like, "Yeah, look, he's innocent," and all this other stuff, and they're like, "Oh, wow," and he's like, "Look, I'm willing to work for free. Like, just look at his case, please," which is a dope thing to do, and they're like, "Well, do you have his court documents?" And they're like, he's like, "Yeah." Like, "Okay, next time you're up here, bring them by." He was like, "I have them in the car right now, like tonight." And they were like, "Oh shit. All right, here you go." And so they start working on the case, which is kind of cool. And they start to see all these holes in the prosecution. They notice that a guy, not named Paperboy, who looks exactly like Paperboy, who is all about that paper boy, is also involved, and he might have saw some shit. And then the case really starts rolling with them starting to see like all these holes and like trying to get witnesses and everything else. Leon Grant gets brought in, who is the brother of Marvin Grant, who was killed. Meanwhile, I'm kind of breezing through these things. Brianna, Karl's wife, takes their kids and leaves.
Yeah, she leaves, and she said something like a couple of scenes prior to this. She says, "You know what I think?" She says, "You know what my mother thinks?" She says, she thinks that you did it, and you feel so guilty that you're trying to help him get out." Did you get that? Did you?
Yeah, I
see
caught
that? I was like, damn, that's kind of fucked up.
Your mom don't know shit.
Yeah.
I was like,
What kind
wow.
of shit is that?
But
Like, she thinks you murdered that man, and you feel so guilty. You're trying to help your friend get out. I'm like,
I'm
wow,
just trying
really?
to be a friend. Sorry, you don't know what that is.
But I mean, that's super fucked up.
Yeah.
That's a fucked up thing to say. I'd be like, "Yo, fuck your mom." I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that shit out loud. My bad. I meant to.
Yo, at the end of the movie, I'd have said that shit. Hey, yeah.
You're welcome.
So, what was that you just said? Yeah, I'm famous now.
Still broke though. Can I borrow $5? I didn't spend a lot of money on your son.
give me a 5 spot, please.
She'd be like, "No."
I'm hungry.
Can I get a sandwich? Can I get one? I've done a lot of work. But what it does say to me though is how uncommon the idea of going that far for your friend is. That even his mother's like, why are you trying to help my son? Like, because your son is innocent? Like, sorry? I don't know, man. I don't know. Leon Grant, who was the guy who threatened to kill Denzel Washington in that movie where he was a doofus. He knows that Colin's innocent, right? So he calls the lawyers back when they call him. He eventually goes in to talk with them. Meanwhile, Antoinette tries to find that young kid, Clarence Lewis, his address. She goes to this black woman who's a clerk at the law offices or the courthouse. And the woman's like, nah, I can't give you that information. It's private information. And they had like a super black moment. She's like, look, this nigga lied and put my husband in prison for 20 years. Can you help me do anything? She was like, all right, this nigga dead. Like, let me give you some sly information on the side. I was like, you know what? Good for you. Because like at that point, you got to be like, look, I gotta try to do something.
Right.
Like, fuck the law.
Like, look, lady, if I do this, my man promised me that he would open every car door we ever get to. And then the black one was like, oh, Lord, every car door? Every car door.
She was like, niggas don't. She was like, no niggas do that. Girl, you got yourself
Girl,
a good one.
I will help you out. Bam, he dead, honey. Sorry. You're just gonna have to open that car door yourself.
Oh, we were so close. We almost hit Xanadu. We almost found a mythical nigga who will open the door, got money, treat you equally, but also treat you not equally at the same time. It's amazing. Bunch of horse shit. It's a bunch of horse shit.
That's funny.
You can be selectively independent all you want. In 2018. 1995. Also, that woman behind that's a clerk or whatever is also fine. Anyway, all good looking ladies in this movie. So then they get a hold of Anthony Gibson's trifling ass, and he comes in. He just finished having sex with booty holes on the outside, not some jail shit. And he comes in, he's like, yeah, I killed him. I killed Marvin. I'm out of prison, living my life. My weird haircut. And so he's like, yeah, let me tell you how I killed this dude. I walked up, I had the fucking part in my hair because it was 1980s. I had my members only jacket on. And then I put a gun right up against the back of this dude's head and shot him in broad fucking daylight, which was seen as a very cool thing. That's why they said it in New Jack City. Years later. So he's telling this all to the judges, or to the lawyers rather. And so they're like, all right, cool. Like, now let's see if we can try to get our boy out. Then Leon Grant goes to see Paperboy, and Paperboy's like, look, I ain't see nothing. Like, shut the fuck up. Fuck out of my face. And he's like, look, man, Colin's been in prison this whole time. He's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I really didn't feel like he was doing like a 90s impression at all. He was just like, nah, I'm just Paperboy. Which is funny because that guy's really talented, but I don't know. He has a way about him that's like also like the nicest of guys on Atlanta, but also like moments of being like slightly terrifying. Like he does a really good job. I like him a lot. And
he's like a Broadway actor, which is fucking wild to me.
Yeah.
You hear him in interviews like,
hello, everyone.
Paperboy. What is this? You ain't no real nigga. Like,
this is Paper Man. Man, I like to work. I like to work legally for all of my paper, man. Like, okay. Doesn't work out for a song as well. Yeah, Karl gets home. Brianna is straight up gone. And so he's like, cool, I got my family out of the way. Now I can get back to doing, trying to help my friend. And then everything starts to move at like breakneck speed where they start to put the case together. They start to put the case together to try to get Colin out. They get him on the radio. He's like calling from jail, and he's like, "Look, I'm in here for the wrong reasons. I didn't do anything." And white people hear that shit on NPR. They're like, oh, this is a real case. Like, holy shit. Turns out black people are getting fucking screwed over. I didn't know until Ira Glass told me. And so then they bring in this other kid who was standing next to the kid who lied on Colin earlier. They do a lie detection test, and turns out he was telling the truth, that there was no way that they could have seen who killed, that Clarence Lewis couldn't have seen who killed Marvin Grant. And then it goes to the court case, and they realize, like, this guy was fucking innocent, and they eventually let him out. See, now these two white lawyers, the Irish woman, she's a fellow Islander, and the shitty asshole cop who tried to lock up a brown guy in another movie, they helped.
What was he in first?
This?
I don't think so.
Oh, no, yeah, that's right, you're right.
Yeah, exactly. Which one is the real him?
Which one's the real actor? I don't know.
Neither?
Yeah.
So we don't know what he's like in real life.
God damn it, Terry.
This is just an act.
It is. It literally is.
It's just an act, or as I like to call actors, a professional liar.
Yeah, right. So we really don't know his views on anything.
This guy's a racist.
This is a paycheck.
He was like, oh, do I get to save black people this time? Sure. Whatever. I don't believe any of that. So they eventually let Colin out. By the way, you want to talk about showing your ass. That last day, I be stunting on all those guys. Yeah, nigga. That's right. And I call them nigga right to their face. I'm innocent. I told y'all 21 goddamn years ago. Yeah, I fucking told you. By the way, I'd say right before I left, I'd be like, I don't regret hitting your ass with that phone at all. At all. At all. And I'm going to sue your ass when I get out, too. Yeah, and so they let them all out. And this is the scene I'd have got real sad about. Colin sees his mom. She's gray because she hasn't seen really her son outside in fucking 21 years. And then he goes over to Karl. And they literally don't say a word to each other. Because there are no words. And again, you got to open every door for that nigga too. I got you. Yes, sir. Yeah, you have to. I don't know, man. I feel like there would be nothing I wouldn't do for that guy. Like after he did that, like there's no, hey yo, my car broke down, nigga, I'll be there. Yeah, like it's 2 I will be there. You can't be like, yo, I'm mad busy. Like, you know who wasn't busy for 21 years? Me. I wasn't busy.
Like I would hope you wouldn't be a dick to hold that over your head because like,
fuck that. I
didn't ask you to do that shit.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can't.
And also, he's your brother-in-law too. At that point too.
Yeah. Well,
you can't be like, nah, I remember telling you not to do it.
Like
I'm absolved of any door opening privileges that you might get.
Can you imagine that shit? Be like, nigga, I ain't tell you to do all this. I mean, if we really being real, I mean, that was on your own accord. Remember when I told y'all to stop? Y'all kept going. Like, yeah, nigga, that was 16 years in. Like, what about those first 16 years? Yeah, I mean, they don't start till 17 years. I'm just saying. Nah, but that's your brother for life, man. No matter what happens.
Yeah.
Like, even if that dude cheated on your sister, be like, I mean, he probably had a reason. I mean, you probably fucked up. Because I don't know if you know, but 21 years, this nigga was fighting for me. But yeah, I'd like to think I could fight that long, man. I'd like to think. But that's dope, man. That is a friendship. That is a friendship that, like, literally no one has.
Yeah, that I don't. Again, I would like you said. I would like to think that I would. I don't know.
At 18,
really don't know. Yeah.
At 18, I find it hard to believe 18-year-old me, my selfish ass, would be like, yeah, all right, let's get into the law. I'd be like, I got college coming up. I mean, these bitches is calling. I mean, sorry. And by the way, I don't have $5,000 line of credit.
Right.
Nigga, I can't float $2 line of credit. You didn't get out of here. And look, I finally got your sister on the hook, and now she talking about leaving. Look, your legacy will live through your children, your nieces and nephews, that I will be making here as a free man. I'm sorry. Good luck. But yeah, he stuck by his friend, man. That's dope. Like that's a level of commitment that I don't think a lot of people, a lot of people would be like, oh, I would. You probably wouldn't. You probably wouldn't.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't.
Yeah. And thank you for saying that you would stick by me. That sounds very nice.
I mean,
That sounds very nice.
I know what to say to placate people. You know what I mean?
You notice what I said, don't you?
Yeah, you said sounds very nice.
Yeah.
No, but you noticed there was no reciprocity.
There was no.
Like,
Look, I don't want you to be disappointed. Don't commit crimes around me. Keep your nose clean,
I don't want
nigga.
to give you false hope.
Yeah. Well, Jay will be calling any day now. I mean, I got a lot of shows this week.
Like,
I mean,
I gotta edit this show.
You know
Sorry.
what was funny is, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but at the end of the movie where they were packing up everything and they were showing his file, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the picture
yeah.
in the file?
Yeah.
It wasn't Lakeith Stanfield.
No, it was. I think it was him. It was. I think that was the actual.
That was actually him.
That was the
real
actual
kid.
guy.
I think so.
Oh, I thought it was a random dude that looked like
Oh,
Lakeith
no.
Stanfield, and then they were like, "This nigga look like him."
Oh,
Fuck.
No. No, I think that's
okay.
actually
I think that was
Colin.
Colin.
Okay, I thought it was a lot worse than.
Oh, no.
I thought everybody was just
Like, wait,
being
what the
racist.
fuck?
Wow.
Like, yo, this don't even look like him, yo. All right. I feel a lot better now, cause woo. But I
Yo,
go to the Church of Terrence.
Well,
It was like
our
we-
doors are always open.
By the way, I have this $54 million jet I'd like to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That is it for us for this episode. I thought that was a really good one.
Yeah.
It was good conversations. All right, make sure you check out, share out the show. Also, check out the preview episodes that we do every other week. We'll be doing one next week to preview episode 132. Also, remember to get those 5-star reviews in on iTunes. As long as they're 5 stars, we'll read them on air. We read them on the preview episode days, where we talk about a random topic of the week and announce the movie, if you don't know that. Also, make sure you go to youtube.com/blackonblackcinema. To check out the video version of the show if you just listen to the audio, because sometimes the videos are it makes for a very interesting style of conversation, like being able to see us actually physically interact. We're fighting each other doing this. Also, check us out on Twitter at BlackOnCinema. As well, send us a message, retweet, whatever. That's also really helpful. And also check out the other shows in the TMP Studios network. This is a company that we run. And we have other shows like The Nerdpocalypse, which is our movie, TV, general news show, which the three of us do. That's once a week. And then we also have Look Forward, which is our political podcast that I host with another guy, a white guy. Exactly. Oh, you like Andy too. You've never met him.
I've never met him, so I don't really have much to go on. He's got an adorable son
That's true.
that ends up being a character in a video game. He looks like Atreus.
Oh shit! Yeah,
Tell me he doesn't look like Atreus.
Yeah, he kind of does.
Andy playing like dad of boy.
Like boy.
Boy,
Oh, damn.
what's your favorite meat, boy? Hot dog meat.
Andy's son.
Bye, Jay.
Andy's son is in fact Mitt Romney. It's weird. So check all those things out. You guys, the two of you guys, host a video game podcast called Dense Pixels as well.
It's another white guy.
Yeah,
We got too many.
we've got the 3 white people in the world worth talking to
There you go.
on our 3 shows. That's
And all three of them are fairly woke. So
yeah.
One just became woke because he
Yeah.
wasn't before. he
Brad.
He was kind of half asleep.
Yeah.
Brad was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Turns out shit has gotten
I don't
crazy.
know what's going on in this world.
Yeah, welcome,
Right.
welcome, Brad. Our
Right.
doors are always open. Right, same thing. But check all those things out. You can go to tmpstudios.com and see the links for all those shows as well. And you can check them out. They're all in podcast or video format. So it's always a good time. And we will see you guys next time.
See ya.
Take it easy.
We out.